Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Chet here from Avion Technology here in the Chicagoland area. We are an agency that works with other agencies to help scale them up. We also work with a lot of other small businesses to give them a very good digital exposure. This week, I am concentrating on CPAs and tax advisories and accounting firms. And in my earlier videos, I spoke about amazing CPA websites and what the must-have functionality within those websites. Today I'm going to talk about how CPA firms can actually market themselves. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about the Deloittes of the world. I'm also not talking about the regional powerhouses of the world, who do 100 million plus. This is for your local community CPA firm that's just probably been in business for maybe a year or two. Now, another thing, keep in mind, anything that I say, please do not construe it as legal advice or financial advice. I'm not a specialist in those regards. I'm just a digital guy, and this is just a conversation, it's not advice. So what are the ways in which a CPA firm can market itself, right? So there's about 5 vectors that I've come up with. Now, some of you might be doing some of these things, but what I've seen in my experience thus far is actually that it helps to think about these as vectors. And the reason being that with marketing, you never know what is going to succeed, right? You try something, you try it for 3 to 6 months, it doesn't work out. You try something else, that doesn't work out. But if you try that approach, what happens is that you end up spending 3 years before something works out, right? Because you've tried 5-6 other things for like 6 months each, and they've not worked out, and then eventually something does, or sometimes nothing does, and you just give up. So instead, what I have seen to be the best way to do marketing is actually to divide it into vectors and to spend a little bit of time doing each of these things. Now, that's definitely time intensive. If there's folks out there who can hire someone to do some of these activities for you, great. If not, unfortunately, all of these activities are going to require some amount of your time. Now, if you are that person, chances are that you're young and you're just starting out. So you might have time as a commodity, which is great, but this is definitely time intensive. It can also be cost intensive, but if you try these, what works in marketing, I've always seen, is a spaghetti on the wall approach, right? Unfortunately, you throw things out there and something sticks, and then the thing which sticks is what gets you results, right? So the 5 vectors are online, referral, networking, online advertisement, and thought leadership, right? These are the 5 vectors that you have to work on. Online, right? Have a very good website, optimized, accessible with SEO. Make sure you're posting really good, relevant content, right? Blogs, case studies, success stories, because you are in an industry where your subject matter expertise counts, right? Number 3, social media. Social media is for creating awareness, right? It is not for selling, because awareness precedes selling. If you're out on social media for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that's when the leads start coming in. If you go on social media expecting to make a sale next month, social media does not work. Social media is an awareness tool. So this is online. Next is referral, right? Current clients, easiest. And trust me, most of your growth is actually going to come from happy current clients who give you referrals, right? Next, other businesses within your locality. Now, for example, realtors, mortgage brokers, landscape folks, painters, plumbers, home inspectors. So that's an ecosystem, and a lot of them I've seen are affiliates to each other where they're constantly exchanging referrals. So for CPAs, I think lawyers could be a good one, right? Tax advisories could be a good one. Banks could be another good one, because so see who is within your ecosystem and see if you can form these affiliate relationships with them. Next, power partners, extremely important, right? In any industry, any community, there's always a few connectors. These are folks who are at the node of a lot of social networks, so they know a lot of people, right? And what happens to these folks is that they're very influential. They meet a lot of new people, they know a lot of people. So if you can get these folks and sign them on as power partners, they'll actually get you a lot of new business. So this is the online vector, and this referral. Next is networking. Now this is where you're actually going to end up spending a lot of time. This is something that I used to personally hate, but I ended up doing in the last 2 years, and it's given me decent results, right? Networking. So the first is networking within the industry, right? So this is going to be industry conferences, industry events, and the second is networking within the community, right? Both have different flight paths, both have different goals, but both require time. So make sure your a golden rule of thumb that I have is that you should spend, if you're starting out a business or even otherwise, you should spend about 6 hours a week networking, right? If you do that, you're going to make a lot of connections and you're going to get a lot of new business. The next vector is online advertisement. This again is a little bit of hit and miss, simply because starting out, no one has the money, right? Pay-per-click and social media ads. So I would kind of wait till you're making decent money to invest in this. This is a very good way to reach a vast audience very fast. Pay-per-click especially, right? That's Google's paid ads. You're on top of the Google results, and it's a very good way to reach an audience very fast. But there is you need to spare a budget, at least initially $300 to $500 a month for this. But this is a surefire way to start getting leads. Next is thought leadership. This is something that has emerged a lot in the last 10 years. Number one is podcasts. So podcasts are an amazing way to create your own little sphere of influence. So I would highly recommend either you doing podcasts or you going on podcasts, right? Number one. Number two, workshops, right? See if you can conduct workshops. There's a lot of things that people want to be educated about. Now, in my industry, for example, everyone wants to know what are like the DIY SEO ways that they can do. What are the DIY website things they can do? So there's a lot of things that people want to be educated about. I know that in the CPA world, folks want to know what are the new tax laws, how can they save money, all these different things. So getting in front of an audience is an amazing way to get new business. And of course, free consults, right? Have an appointment booking functionality on your website where people can go and take an hour of your time and book consults. Again, will give you amazing dividends. So ladies and gentlemen, 5 vectors, about 3 sub-vectors for each. You will have to spend time on this, no doubt. And you'll have to give like a Friday and a Saturday, half of a Saturday, right? But if you keep doing this consistently, consistency is the key. When you're doing marketing, it's all about consistency. If you keep doing these consistently, 1, 2, or even 3, 4 of these things might actually click. And once they start clicking, once the leads start coming in, right, then they don't stop. So keep doing this consistently, and I am very sure you'll be able to increase your revenue, increase your footprint because of these. Chet here from Avion Technology. Like I said, we have helped small businesses, CPA firms get a really good digital presence and grow their business through paid advertising, online advertising. So this is something that we know. If you've liked this content, press like. If you want to subscribe, press subscribe. These are my coordinates, and it's a Saturday today, so have a great weekend. Thank you so much.